Today is the first lesson of our next unit. Our next unit is all on polynomials. A polynomial is just an algebraic expression with different terms consisting of numbers, variables, and only positive exponents. Here's an example: 2x squared plus 3x minus 5. Today's lesson we are just going to talk about the basics of polynomials, and you will see how different polynomials have different names, and we will also talk about the proper way to write your final answer. Here is another polynomial, 2x to the third plus 3x squared plus 5x minus 8. I'm going to use this to help explain a few different vocabulary words that you'll need to know throughout the unit. First one, coefficient. Coefficient is referring to the numbers in front of your variables. So 2, 3, and 5 are the numbers in front of your variables. They are your coefficients. And then 2 is a special kind of coefficient. It's called the leading coefficient because it is the leader of the polynomial. The next word is the word term. So these are the different sections of the polynomial that are separated by addition and subtraction signs. We have 2x to the third, 3x squared, 5x, and the negative 8. All of those are called terms. So that means in this polynomial we have 4 terms. And then the very last word is the word constant. The constant simply refers to the number at the very end. So the number that does not have a variable is your constant. 3 words: coefficient, term, and constant. Very important. Here we have a chart that will help us give specific names to different polynomials. If you look at the examples on the far right, technically all of those are polynomials, but the smaller ones, they not only are polynomials, they have a more specific name, such as monomial, binomial, or trinomial. So if there is only one term, means there's no addition or subtraction, it's just one term. It is a monomial. If there are 2 terms, meaning just one addition sign or subtraction sign, it is a binomial. Just like a bicycle has 2 wheels, a binomial has 2 terms. And then onto trinomial, it would have 3 terms. And what I want you to notice when you're looking at all of these different terms, none of them are like terms, meaning you can't combine anything. None of them have the same exponent. So all of these polynomials are in its most simplified form. You can't give it a name until it has been simplified, until all of its like terms have been combined. So monomial 1, binomial 2, trinomial 3, and anything higher than 3, we simply just call it polynomial. So that is for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, as many terms as you can think of. We just simply call it a polynomial, which the word poly actually means many, so it's saying many terms. For the next part of the lesson, I'm going to give you a couple different polynomials, and you're going to do 2 things with them. 1, write them in standard form, and 2, classify them. When I say classify, I just mean name it. Is it a monomial, binomial, trinomial, or polynomial? And when I say to write the polynomial in standard form, it simply means that you have to write it so all of your terms are in order, and by that I mean that your exponents are in decreasing order. So the term that has the highest exponent has to go first, and then it decreases down to the constant. So let's look at the first one. We want to first put it in standard form. So you want to look at your exponents and pick the biggest one, and that's going to be the leading term. So 3x to the third. Well, negative 3x to the third is your front term, negative 3x to the third, and then between 5 and 7x, this positive 7x will go next because the number without the variable is your constant, and that will always go at the end. And that's a positive 5, so plus 5. And now we have to classify it. So is it a monomial, binomial, or in this case, there are 3 terms, so it is a trinomial. Alright, next one. It's only two terms, so we know it's a binomial, but we have to put that in standard form. This one has a higher exponent, so 5n squared goes first, and then negative n, we can just write minus n, and this is a binomial. Now last one, common mistake, we have two different variables. We have a and we have b, but do you see any addition or subtraction signs in this case? You do not. So this is actually just one term. Even though there's different variables, it's still just one term, and this is a monomial. And it was already in standard form. For the rest of the unit, you have to make sure that every final answer is written in standard form. But you also have to make sure it's fully simplified, which means all like terms are combined. Alright, so for this first one, look at what like terms you have. Here you have x squared. Do you have anything else that has an x squared? Yes, we have a positive 8x squared. And then we have 7 and we have a negative 4x. So the x squared and the 8x squared are the only things we can combine. So x squared plus 8x squared is 9x squared. And then let's go in standard form. First we have negative 4x and then a positive 7 at the end. So we combined our like terms, we simplified, and it's in standard form, so we're done. Alright, when you're looking to combine like terms, always try to find the highest exponent and then combine in order so it'll be in standard form. So here my highest exponent is x to the third, I have negative 2x to the third, and I also have a positive 10x to the third. So when I combine those together, I have 8x to the third. And now what else do I have in common? Let's see, I have a negative 4x squared, but I have nothing to combine it with, but that's my next highest exponent, so that's the next part of my answer. Minus 4x squared. And now go to my x's. Here I have a positive 5x and a positive 6x, so I can combine those, and that gives me 11x. And then I just have that plus 1 at the end, nothing to combine it with, and it's my constant that goes at the end. So there you go. It is simplified and written in standard form. Those are all the basics of polynomials that you will need to know for the first lesson. So good luck with the assignment.